All right, awesome. Well, thank you everybody who has signed in today. We're excited to have you all here, and we greatly appreciate you attending our September Lunch and Learn webinar featuring Recycle Brevard with Marcia Booth. And before we get started, I just wanted to want to do some updates on the upcoming events that we have. This coming Friday, September 4th from 5:30 to 8:30, we will be tabling at the Ogallie Art District's first Friday Art Walk, Life on the Lagoon art exhibit. So we'll have MRC literature and books and possibly decorated rain barrels. I can't guarantee. And then this coming Saturday, we will also be at Top Notch Marine in Melbourne for the end of summer celebration. And all the proceeds that we will receive will go to the Citizen Scientist program, Lagoon Watch, which is all about doing citizen science and collecting water quality data throughout the lagoon. This next Wednesday, September 9th to the 12th, in the mornings, we will be doing storm drain marking. And so if you're interested in getting some volunteerism out and you want to just walk around a neighborhood nearby in Melbourne, please contact me. That's Nicole at mrcirl.org for more information on how to sign up and what you'll be doing. And we'll also have more opportunities for storm drain marking the 15th through the 18th, as well as the 22nd to the 25th. Additionally, we have another webinar that will be hosted by Rockledge Gardens, and it will be on the mighty mangrove, and we will be discussing the different mangroves in Florida, their benefits as a living shoreline, as well as how to start your own mangrove nursery in your yard. And that will be from 1 to 2 p.m., and there's more information for signing up on our website. Then on Saturday, September 19th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., we will have the International Coastal Cleanup. And the MRC is taking on not one, not two, but 3 causeways. And so we need a lot of help. So if you're interested in doing some social distancing, supportive work for the lagoon, come join us to help out with the International Coastal Cleanup. And we will be working at the Melbourne Causeway, the Ogallie Causeway, and Penita Causeway. Again, more information will be on our website. And then Saturday, September 26th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we will have the National Estuaries Day celebration, where we'll have a panel of experts talk about their different work. We will have Dr. Lisa Soto, the Executive Director of the Marine Resources Council, present the new health update of the Indian River Lagoon with the added tributaries, so kind of connecting the tributaries to the impacts of the lagoon and how water quality and seagrass habitat is doing. We'll also have Dr. Dennis Hanasak from Harbor Branch present on his land and ocean biogeochemical observatory advanced water quality monitoring units. And we'll have Captain Rodney Smith also presenting his book release, which is called Pure Agua, or Pure Water, and it's an educational and entertaining dive into Florida's water crisis. So we have a lot going on at the MRC, so definitely check out our website for all of our upcoming events. All right, cool. So just moving on to our next item. For those of you that are new to joining us through our virtual platform, you will have noticed that you do not have microphone access and you do not have video access. However, we definitely still welcome questions and comments. You can submit your questions and /or comments through either the chat option, but most preferably through the Q&A option on your screen. And we'll be checking those questions throughout the presentation. However, we will be answering them towards the end of the presentation. Okay. We will also be using the polling option, so we will be polling participants. The poll will pop up on your screen, and then you'll select the option that you want or selected, and then later we will share the results. All of our surveys, all of our polling questions are anonymous, so you can pick whichever answer or whichever thing you think or that you want to select. It's totally fine. All right, cool. If there's no other questions or any comments, looks like we're all right. Okay, cool. So thank you all again for being here today. I really appreciate it. And we have Marcia Booth, who is the founder and president of Recycle Brevard, which is an organization dedicated to empowering communities to help preserve the environment and build healthy, harmonious, and sustainable in a sustainable county where there is no room for waste. Marcia Booth has a diverse background with a bachelor's degree in business administration, a graduate certificate in systems analyst, and an associate's degree in early childhood education. She's also a graduate from the first IFAS Sustainable Floridians program in 2014. She's a trained facilitator for Project Wild, as well as Project Learning Tree. She completed the IFAS Florida Master Naturalist program in November 2018 and is currently working towards a master's degree in environmental education. Additionally, not that she's not busy enough, she also writes a monthly column called Beyond the Curb for two local newspapers, Viera Voice and Senior Life. So without further ado, we have Marcia Booth here to present on putting the 3 R's into practice.
All right, thank you, Nicole. And can you hear me okay? Okay. So, well, thanks, everyone for attending, for being here to learn about Recycle Brevard and what we've been doing. Thanks MRC for putting this, together. I think it's a great idea, this lunch and learn. We have opportunity, especially being at home now. So we can do a lot of that without going anywhere. So as the presentation is about Recycle Brevard, and I wanted to share how we are working to help the community to practice the 3 R's. So let's see how this is going to go, and hopefully everybody's going to learn a little bit, about us and about the 3 R's too. Why not? So to get you started, who we are. So we started as an online resource, and in 2017 we created a facility in Rockledge. That's when we opened our facility just a few years ago. So, but to warm everybody up, let's start with the first polling question. Let's see how that works and see if you know any, what you know about Recycle Brevard. So we have just 3 options. So, let's see if how we fare.
Awesome. Looks like we're getting some results in. Awesome. Looks like people are figuring it out. Cool. Okay. We'll wait a few more seconds. All right. Just about there.
Mm-hmm. And it's just to clarify, like the part of Brevard County. Well, we are in Brevard County, but we are not part of the government. So I'm going to start hinting so you can kind of eliminate that one if you haven't answered yet. So we are not part of Brevard County government. We are an independent organization.
All right, we're going to end polling. 3, 2, 1. All right, end polling. And we are sharing results. So everybody should be able to see the results.
All right. So for the ones who never heard about us, so, thank you for being here even more. And this is a great chance that, MRC is giving us so you know about us. And yeah, so the answer was number 2. So that's how I started Recycle Brevard. I was a student, Eastern Florida, and went on a landfill tour. So as a student in the community involvement class, like if you see something that you need to be changed, you can do it, you are it. So I learned about the recycling rate and decided to do something about it. So that's, that's a little background. So that's how we started. All right. So, and then let me just carry on. So we're good with the results. So, all right. So let me carry on. And All right, so yeah, so that's how we started. It was an online after the class and after the landfill tour, like, okay, so let me put some information available, make information available so people know how important it is to recycle and how easy it can be in our daily life. So that's how we started. But after that, we became a 501c3, and finally, you know, in 2017, we have our own facility, but we are 100% volunteer based. So we have, as just a group of people trying to make a difference, and we 100% funded by donations and sponsorships that we receive. So our focus is basically on reducing waste. So, and the best way to do that is the practice of the 3 R's. And with that, also the sustainable living, because if you keep that in mind, you know, practicing the 3 R's will be make part of your life, and how you can do things better and affect, you know, with the minimum of effect on the environment. So that's who we are. Now, the 3 R's. So I think everybody knows about the 3 R's. And even though sometimes there are more R's, but we see the 3 R's as the core, because even if you want, so the reduce waste in general. So you rethink, you have to refuse, you have, so that's all part of the reduce. When you reduce, basically you don't have to practice the other ones because you don't have waste. So that's the goal. And by practicing and helping the community practice the 3 R's, we're able to divert. Just this year, we started now taking note of and tracking our numbers. So almost 2,500 pounds of waste that we have diverted from the landfills just up to now. And this is, while we were closed, you know, our facility had been closed and from March to June, basically. So we were we were accepting materials and not having a place to put anything because nobody was coming to get any of the materials. So we had, but even with that, just after we reopened, we were able so far to divert 2,500. So, you know, I'm pleased about that. I had no idea before because we were just doing things and not keeping track of numbers. So this year, well, since the beginning of the year, we made a point of, you know, we got a scale and, you know, just to have that quantified. So this is how we approach the 3 R's, is the inverted pyramid. So the focus is the reduce first. So anything you can reduce, like I said, that you won't need to or even think about the reuse or recycle because you don't have the waste in the first place. And that's the best thing that you can do. The second one will be the reuse. So if you can extend the life of anything you buy and use multiple times, you know, that's the second best. And the third will be recycle. So that will be transformed into something else instead of being buried in the landfill. You would just produce something else. It becomes the raw material for a different product. So, back to mine. All right. So the first one, the reduce. How can we connect individuals to the environment and do all that? So we have a little poll now and see what you think, how Recycle Brevard can contribute to the reduce in the community, or to reduce waste in the community. So this is it's kind of an easy one. I hope that people are, you know, finding it easy to vote on this one. So And we got the countdown.
Yep, would you like me to count it down now? All right.
Yeah, I think we're getting close, aren't we?
All right,
So,
yep. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2,
drum
moment
roll.
of truth, 1.
All right, yeah. So a couple of ways that we try to spread the word and try to educate, and you know, the in the reduce, just get the community in the reduce mode is through community events and presentations. So we do that, but we do more than that. And I'm just putting the next slide here to, to list some of the things that we do in regards to reducing. So on the left, you can see the first one is discussion courses, and it's an ecochallenge.org partnership that we have. Unfortunately, this year, we had to cancel our discussion course because they were just, in person. We haven't structured, but the eco-challenge courses to be online. But the way things are going, we're really considering that for spring next year. So we can get, the program going. We see a lot of people adopting the Zoom and different online platforms. So instead of just stopping and waiting until we can meet again in person, I think, especially because it's a discussion course and it's for adults, it's a program for adults, so we can, we're considering that. So another one that we do is an educational program that's Connect to Help Protect. And we have programs for kids specifically, the 3R kids, building things. And we always talk about how we can reduce. We have, for example, one of the programs, and all the Connect to Help Protect, we have hands-on component in the program. So we talk about a topic, and then we have a hands-on component that will practice what we just covered. And I think especially for kids, for everybody, that's an important point. But I think for kids especially, it's a very important component of the program. So they get out of the program doing something differently. So for example, we create reusable bags out of old t-shirts, and they do there in the program, and then they can just go shopping without getting a plastic bag, for example. So, it's the reuse to reduce. So we're reusing a t-shirt and reducing what we get when we, shop multiple times. So this is the concept that we put into the Connect to Help Protect. And just to bring things that we do daily that we can do differently if we just, talk about it and think about it a little bit. Field trips, we organize field trips to different agencies or, in the county. And again, it's just like, let's learn how it happens. So it's the drinking water facility, is the wastewater facility, and the landfill. So those are the three that we focused on, because it talks, it shows the process and how we in our community, how we access those services and how we can help, because sometimes even the, wastewater facility, things that you can flush and you cannot, and how that will affect. So things like that sometimes you think they're completely standalone and they just happen. It's like the magic coffee table that, I don't know if you guys heard about that, but things don't happen, magically happen. Or the mom's fridge, all the supplies are in the mom's fridge, but it's not. Somebody has to go shopping. Somebody has to clean the fridge. Somebody has, so things that have to happen in the background for us to have clean water, for us to have, flushable toilets and, things like that. And of course, the landfill. So green event certification, this is also something that we do. And education part involving the vendors, involving participants. So how we can, during an event, have information just there that they are exposed to. And sometimes you don't have to talk about it, but just having people exposed to an experience or exposed to certain signs that they will pick up on that outreach. So that will be the events and presentations that I mentioned before. And One Less Straw is the campaign with One More Generation, that we partner with them to also cut down the plastic and help school businesses, just reduce the amount of plastic through the straw campaign. Part of the other side is just products that we, for a donation we carry and we bring to events and things like that, just so people have an alternative and on what to use on a daily basis. So it can be the shopping bags, and we do have a really cool beach bag that we reuse mesh from your kitchen and create a beach bag, so you don't, when you go to the beach, you don't bring sand back home, and you put your toys and everything in there. So that's a really cool item that we have. But anyway, so that's just some items that we have as reusable that we promote the reduce. So next, and talking about the reuse, is going to be the reuse topic. So how we make materials available for the community and how we do the reusing. So now it's time for our next poll, and let's see how we fare this time. It's also just 3 answers, basically 2, you got to decide. And we'll see if any guess there. And just so you know what, we're going to cover that, but our facility in Rockledge is a small facility. And when we decided to open the facility, we wanted to be an example of, sorry about that, we wanted to be an example of our, what we do. And so basically 98% of what we have in the facility is reused. And I think other than the fridge and the printer, everything else is came from somewhere other than a store, a brand new material. So Nicole, you want to get to the results? Want to share the results?
Yep, the results should be shared.
All right. Okay, yeah, so, and the majority correct. We do have the Crafting with Friends and Recycling Club membership. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about those now. The next slide. So we try to walk the walk. That's, and like I said, our facility is basically all reused material donated to us, or that we knocked on the door when we saw something on the curb and can we take that? So I've done that many times with my neighbors over here. I just go and, is that something that you're okay for me to take? And that's how we got a lot of the plastic tubs that we store materials in at Recycle Brevard in the reuse room, and how we got shelving, how we got tons. You wouldn't believe how much of reusable things that right now we find and they are thrown away. So Crafting with Friends is a program that we do. It's fun, and we get materials that we have in our reuse room and that we collected, that were donated, and we just come with an evening. And for adults, we have like a wine, you bring your own wine, and we do a crafting session with some of the materials that we collected. So we come up with something cool. So that's something that we do, not only to get the materials out. We always, any program we do, we talk about what we do. So they know about Recycle Brevard, they know about our priorities, and also we raise funds. So it's like a win-win for, you know, talking about us and getting materials out of the room, getting people exposed to that experience, and also to raising funds for us to be there. So Recycling Club is another program that we came up with that because we don't want to store all the materials and just sit on a bunch of materials. We want to share with the community, and that's a way to do it. You can either purchase materials by the bag. So if you donate $5, a grocery bag, you can fill up with whatever is in the reuse room. So, you know, you go shopping there. And the Recycling Club is a membership, an annual membership, and it's available on our website if you want to take a look at the different ones. We have for individuals, for groups and organizations, and you can use the whatever materials we have available in the reuse room and to your projects, your personal projects, your community projects, and for a contribution. So, and that's an annual, and then you have so many bags per month and so many visits. So we combine all that and have the Recycling Club, you know, for the community. We have donated to teachers, so teachers will have access to the reuse room. We donated some memberships, and it was about 20 now, 24 that we have donated. And we do want one to help the teachers. So Brevard Public School teachers, if there is, you know, any who joined, or if you know any who would be interested and would be interested in using resources from our reuse room, please contact us, and we would love to donate memberships to Brevard Public School teachers. So, and we use in our hands-on projects in our communities and any activities, or when tabling at events, we do use materials. They are from our reuse room. There are things that we collected. So we do try to walk the walk, as you know, as often as we can, and so we live through it. So, and we do have other reusable materials that we have, or reusable items that we received as donations. So we have them available at our facility. So I've been talking about a lot of the reuse room. So this is kind of a picture from the door, and it's always a challenge. It's a small space, like I said, and we try to organize in a way that people can find and can get to materials, you know, as easy. And so that's what it looks like a little bit, because we have received tons of materials, and we have been reorganizing. But we do have a lot of crafting materials, a lot of, even sometimes as recyclables, but they are recyclables that, like the toilet paper rolls, for example, and you know, that we use a lot in our activities. That can be binoculars, that can be owls, that can be made into tons of things, and seedling starters. It can be just so many things. And teachers, like, sometimes they need volume. So if they want to prepare an activity for a whole class, instead of counting on starting now saving their own single toilet paper roll, they come and they can get a lot. And that's a popular item in the reuse room right now. So we have different things. We have from buttons and binders and, you know, styrofoam, glass. We do have a lot of things in there. And sometimes when people ask, well, can you take this? So we do take it, but right now, for example, we have a lot of styrofoam coolers. So they take space, and some of the teachers, they took, you know, the some coolers, but we just received more. So right now, if you want to get rid of your cooler, we cannot accept, but normally we do take them, and other things like that we just don't have the space to store everything. So if you keep a hold of them and then check with us, then we you know, hopefully materials will be cycling through, and then we can accept again. So, and then that brings us to the last one, the last R, the recycling. So we have another polling question, if you're ready for that. And we have our, so while you're thinking about the question there, we have services, you know, the county has services, and every city will have service, and it may vary what one city accepts to the next. Most of Brevard County is kind of the same because it's the same company accepting and collecting, processing the recycling as waste management. And but it may vary depending on the company and how they, you know, the market and how the facilities are ready or prepared for certain products or for certain things or not. So we do have the curb recycling, and that's what is provided. And what we do at Recycle Brevard, we try to extend on that. So not only help people understand or see what can be recycled or not according to what we know from the county, from the city, but also we do a little bit more of, you know, what can go in the bin. So the whatever we're going to talk about, so we have the two separate ones. One is the county, the recycle bin at home that you have at work, and the other one is, you know, our things for Recycle Brevard. So let's see, how did we do, Nicole? All right. Excellent. So yeah, so we do, believe it or not, we do accept all of the above. And that's, you know, not in your recycle bin. So don't confuse the two. So one is your recycle bin at home that gets picked up, you know, from the county, from the city, and the other one are programs that we offer as a drop off. So you can bring to us those materials. So let me cover a little bit of that. And so in our presentation, so we're offering more options on recycling. So not only you have the curb, and we try to help you with that, identifying what can go and what cannot go in the recycle bin, but we do offer a little bit more. And a little bit more, what do I mean by that? So TerraCycle, so all the items that you saw in your polling questions, they are TerraCycle items that we accept. So if you if your toothbrush is done and your toothpaste tube is empty and they do not go in the county or, you know, your recycle bin, if you want to create a separate bin for Recycle Brevard, and, you know, when the bin is full, you come by and just drop it off at our facility, we'll be recycling through TerraCycle. So we are partners with TerraCycle. We participate in tons of their programs, and that's how we are able to recycle those materials. So they partner with the manufacturers, and they take what, you know, we ship to them. So we have a limit and things like that we need to coordinate, but we accept all of them. We want to expand. Right now we have one drop-off location, that is the Green Market place in Cocoa, and Recycle Brevard. So we are, we want, since the county is so long, and just to make it easier for people, instead of driving all the way from, you know, Titusville to Recycle Brevard and Rockledge to drop off recyclables, we're working to expand that and have different points. It can be a shop, it can be, you know, a pet store, it can be a company. Maybe you want to connect and collect for your employees. So you can have a bin and collect all the, I don't know, maybe dog food, or, you know, a pet store, and, you know, so dentist places. So we're working, that's one of our programs, that not only we share information when you do a cleaning, that you have a little baggie with, you know, new toothbrush, new toothpaste, and dental floss container. So we have a postcard ready. So it's a program that we would like to have dentists. It all got messed up because of the pandemic, and so we had to stop with that. But we are ready for that program, and now we would like to expand, just like I said, like a pet store, so they can collect. We collect a lot of different brands of pet food, so that will be another, drop-off location that will be interested in doing that. And so, and drop-off location. So right now, if you're in Rockledge and you know that you're coming by, so our hours are limited, and especially now we're just opening Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 6. But you can drop off materials at any time. It can be on the weekend, it can be in the morning, it can be anytime. We have a box outside where you can place the material. It can be donation for the reuse room, it can be TerraCycle items. You just, drop them off and we will take it from there. So it doesn't restrict you to the hours that we are open. So we are flexible, and we want more people to participate. So we want to, to make it available as, the more we can. So those are lists of things that we collect, that we accept. So electronics, we do not take TVs. A lot of people, we have on our door, we have on our website, we do not take TVs, we do not take printers. So when we get those, then we are responsible for, disposing of them. So I have to get, or my husband, or, a volunteer to take to, like Best Buy, for example. They do accept printers. So if you have a printer, and I think they still have a promotion. So Best Buy, if you want to purchase a new printer, they give 15% off if you bring your old printer. So you get a coupon. So they were doing that. So check that out. We do not take printers. So that's one thing that we have. And whatever is dropped off, then we handle it, and we have to handle. So however you can help, that will be great. So we do take electronics and metal, like I said. Clothes and shoes, we do have a box. It's at the end of our building. So if you have reusable that you don't want anymore, and you're in the area, you don't have a place to donate, normally Sharing Center, they are great for accepting donations, but we also have that as a way to make it easier so it doesn't go in the trash. So the trash will be not an option. So you can, donate first, you can resell them, or, or just put in our box that, anything but the landfill. That's the goal. 6-pack rings, and we accept. We have a program you can collect at home. You don't even need to bring it to us. You download, it's free shipping. So if you just register on our website, we'll email you the label that you can collect at home or at work. And when you have enough to fill up the box, you just print the label and ship it, and you start collecting again. So that's a really easy way to, instead of throwing, we always try to cut them before, it goes in the trash, but they cannot be recycled in our regular recycle bin. But if you want them to be recycled, instead of throwing the landfill, even when you cut, you can participate in this program. And then we are, again, extending the life of that material and just making something new. VHS tapes, we are on hold on that because we received tons. We have like, I think 25 boxes of tapes. We don't know where they came from. Like I said, we are a small space, and if you have high volumes of anything, we are willing to work with you to maybe place some at a time in our reuse room. So that was every time we opened the facility, at the door, we had 3, 4, 6 boxes of VHS tapes. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do with them? So we had a few teachers taking some, but now we have a lot of VHS tape. So if you're in need of VHS tape for any project, so come to Recycle Brevard and you can find some tape. So normally the batteries as well. Batteries, alkaline batteries. So if you have like a handful of batteries, you can bring to us instead of throwing in the trash. We recycle those through Call to Recycle. So we have to purchase boxes. The same for the VHS tapes. We have to purchase boxes to be able to recycle. So we offer those as programs free to the community, because you don't want to buy, you know, a whole box and just take like 5 years to collect all the batteries that you can't ship. So we are offering that as a, you know, for the community, for individuals. But we do need to purchase the boxes. So normally we fundraise or we get sponsorships. We have organizations to fund or sponsor a box or 2 boxes. And then we can offer that as a free option to the community. So that's what is, you know, happening now. We have for the VHS tapes, we have a fundraising going on for that because we just have so many, and now we need to handle them. So, and the other 2 is Recycle for events. If you're putting on an event and you would like some recycling services, and you know, we do offer that. We bring our own bins and we place them, and then we come to collect the materials. We do have for small businesses that, you know, normal recycling will be too much, or they just have a small container that they would need collecting. So we do offer that as an alternative, again, to send last to the landfill. So on our website, you will find the direct link is at the bottom of the presentation is what we accept. So we created a page with everything, and from there you can see details for each one of them. So let's move on. This is also a resource on our website that you can print those lists. And what we do, we every so often we go back to like waste management and try to validate our lists just to make sure nothing changed, because recycling is a business, is a commercial, and you know, and it will vary depending if they have market, if they don't have market, and so we try to validate that and just to keep that up to date. But our Brevard County created an awesome page that by room you can figure out what can go and what cannot. So they did a great job there. So I put the link at the bottom too, you know, but if you go to the county's website and you choose recycling, you can see that too. And so these are resources. What we have available is more like a reminder that you can print and put on your fridge or something. So, you know, just to have a quick reference list, but they are all, you know, good resources, so you can identify what can go in the bin and what not. Because the worst thing is contamination, is putting the wrong things in the recycle bin. That invalidates what good is in there already. So we try to contribute to, you know, to that. So just to get to be in the know. So like, how do you get all that information? How do you keep up with what we're doing and everything? Here are some, you know, the, oops, I think I went the wrong way here. So, yep. All right, now it's going the right way. So here's some ways that you can keep up with what we are doing, what information we have, the latest, and just to get involved. And so our website primarily, so we try to keep up with the calendar and everything on our website. We have our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mostly Twitter, we're kind of quiet there. And like I said, everything we do is volunteer based, so it depends on how much help we get and how much we can do. Newsletter, we do have a newsletter editor, so she's helping greatly with that. And if you sign up, you can sign up on our website. If you sign up, you receive, and it's not, we're trying once a quarter, once every couple months to have a newsletter out, just with information on what we're doing, what is new, and things like that. Our, of course, the Beyond the Curb from Viera Voice and Senior Life. I talk about different things, and the environment in general is not like recycling questions or anything like that, but that's also some way to get involved and get information. The websites, our partners I listed there, presentations like this one, or if you would like me to come and talk to a group like in your neighborhood, or you have a club or something that will be interested in learning more, we can dig more into different topics that I covered here. And volunteer meetings. So volunteer meetings, we're having virtual meetings. So let me, and by the way, this is a little, the picture is something that we do on our social media. So to remind people of things that can go in our program, the TerraCycle, through TerraCycle that we can recycle. So Gerber is one of them. So products, even like we just got a new program for medicine and vitamin. That's always, you know, and even the blister pack is recyclable through TerraCycle. So you don't have to throw that. So yeah, that will be a great thing for you to do if you want to do more and recycle more. Just check the list. We have that list available on our website. And we, as they close and open programs, we keep up on the website. So we have a printable version, and also you can just go and search on our website for information on that. But back to the volunteer meetings. So we do have virtual now, and that's one of the ways that you can get involved. So to get involved, joining our social media channels and sharing our information. All right, so our social media channels and supporting our efforts and what we do, and of course volunteering with us. So this is some of that, some of the ideas. And so volunteering, we have information available on our website too. You can fill out, you can look for the things we need help with. Spread the word, just sharing information that what you learn here, what you see on our website or our social media channels, that will be great. And supporting our efforts if you participate in programs, if you know, any way that you can, and that will be great. So I posted here the date for the volunteer meetings if you would be interested in joining one of them. So it's every second Friday, every other month. So we don't do like a monthly meeting, it's just every other month. And these are the dates. You can check on our calendar online. And if you go Eventbrite, they have all the different dates that you can register. We just ask for our SVP, and then those people register, they will get the Zoom link now to participate in our meetings. So, and with that, I conclude, and I'll pass back to Nicole so she can check on the questions and we can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all that information. Like this, it's amazing what you guys do at Recycle Brevard, and it's amazing to see how you guys have grown too as an organization, from starting from like a volunteer project all the way up into this huge organization that's doing such great work for our county. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we have about 10 minutes or so for questions. I wanted to have you answer the 2 questions that were submitted through email really quick. I know we already kind of touched on them, but just in case, we had one person ask for clarification on what kind of paper that can be put into recycling bins, such as envelopes with plastic windows or tissue paper, and other kinds of cards.
Yeah, so paper, the envelopes will be okay with the plastic window, so that should be fine. And paper like magazines and flyers that you receive, office paper, and we have a list. So do check, you know, what we have on our website, and also what the county has as part of they have like office, but like greeting cards, they will not, if they have any fancy finish like a glitter or things like that, they will not go in the recycle bin. So that will be something that we have a lot in our reuse room. So we do have greeting cards in our reuse room that can be used in projects, that can cut up, that they can, you know, so that will be an alternative for greeting cards. And if you have a home, if you know, your next project, just think about how you can reuse the greeting cards. So that will be an option for that. And tissue paper and like just like paper towel and those will not go in the recycle bin. So what is next? What do you have next?
All right, so the next one, it actually kind of ties into the reuse room. They were asking for suggestions on recycling 3-ring binders, CDs, and CD cases. Are those some of the items that Recycle Brevard accepts for the reuse room?
Yes, we do. We do have those in the reuse room. And we do have like DVD cases and not only the CDs. And we have, right now we have tons of DVD cases. So, so if you can hold off, if you have some, just hold off until we can get more people coming to get those for projects. That would be great. But yes, those are items that would go in the reuse room.
Okay, awesome. So we've got some really great questions right here. So we might go a smidge over time, but I feel like all of these are definitely worth answering. Let's see. So so these are also still like recycling questions. So how about, let's see. This one said, in the past, we have saved plastic caps from bottles for schools. Do you also accept them? I know that sometimes you can't recycle plastic bottles unless they have the cap. So I don't know if things have changed.
Well, the plastic bottle, they can be recycled with the cap on. It used to be that you had to take the cap off. So this was a change in Brevard County, but that's related to equipment and how the sorting is done and all that. But now you can leave the plastic cap on your plastic bottles, but we also accept, so you cannot separate the two and try to recycle the cap. So that will not work for the recycling facility. So if you separated those, we can use those for projects. So we have also tons of those in our reuse room. We separate by color to, to make it easier for teachers to get what they need. And, I'm mentioning teachers, but anybody with a project that will reuse the materials, can be an art project, can be anything. So we do have that in our reuse room.
Awesome. Okay, so here's someone submitted that they noticed that in other counties they have the recycling bins for residents have large labels that simplify what can and cannot be included. They've noticed that in Brevard County there's a lot of incorrect items included. Is there a way that we can get proper labels on recycling bins in residents?
That will be, we don't have the power to do that. You can use what we have on our website and maybe cover that. And that's it's just a PDF, but those are waste management labels. They, the company who provides the bins, it can be Waste Pro, it can be Waste Management, or, different companies, they will have their own material. So that will be up, for the company. And of course, the contract that they sign, if it is the county, and the county has, power over what, what the bin is going to look like and what the color of the bin is and everything. So that will be up to them. But what you could do in the meantime is, like I said, if you want to maybe place a print out from our website and place that just as a reminder, that will be my recommendation now.
Awesome. And this actually kind of ties into another residential issue. This person submitted that they realize, or they see that many residents throw plastic bags, styrofoam, wood, electronics, etc. into the recycle. Do you have any information about the cost and damage this can do?
Well, not directly to the cost, but I know that it was like around 30–40%, or the contamination was high. And of course it costs a lot, not only to separate those things out, but then to deal with them, just like what we receive at Recycle Brevard, that when we have something that we don't accept or we don't have room, it's our responsibility in handling the material properly. So for like waste management, for example, it is a headache for them too, and it will cost them a lot of money too, because they not only the separation for that, if something gets mixed in, they will get less for what they're selling. They have to pay to dispose of what comes in and is wrong. So it's all the management, and it's a high cost. And like the plastic bags, they have to stop the machinery, like stop everybody. So salaries they are paying, and then people are they cannot do their jobs. They just, climb in the machines to fix them and maybe the equipment will break. So it's a big headache. So yeah. So
I've heard
whatever
also,
we can do, yeah, whatever we can do to diminish that, that will be best.
yeah, and you have such great flyers too. So if I recommend to participants to print out flyers or even electronically share the flyers with your HOA or different community or different people in your community. I think those handouts that you have online are fantastic because I always have to double check because I can't remember, all right, what goes in the trash, what goes in the recycling. So it's nice to have that label like posted right by our recycling.
Yeah, and some cities, they offer that too, like Cape Canaveral, they do a great job. They do have information there too. So, and depending on where you live, like I said, there are variations. So that will be the go-to first.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but we are back up. So.
So this one is also like a pretty important one. How do you properly dispose of X-ray films? Like you get like an X-ray of your bone, and how concerned should an individual be about recycling items with personal information on them? Like sometimes the electronics or CDs or stuff like that.
Yeah. So the personal information that even when you are throwing away, if it is the, whatever it is, the envelope, the letter that came to your house, or I recommend removing that and just, that's what I do personally. So I remove my information from the envelope. I recycle most of it because there's still a big envelope, but my name and address, I just put in the trash, in small pieces. So everything that you could do, that will be the recommended way.
Can you recycle like scratch CDs or like different kinds of electronics? Like sometimes people will like drill through the motherboards.
Yeah, so
but it's still recyclable.
Yeah, that will be wipe out, before delivering anything. But sometimes it's like a screwdriver, or if it is like a separate hard drive or something like that, that you can just hammer. Or, but most of the time, when they process, they shred, like hard drive, for example, they shred the hard drive. But if you're concerned, just do that way, that, removing, like invalidating basically. But what we do for electronics, like laptops, and so we partner with a company that they reuse. So like putting a screwdriver through that would not be the case. We can only recycle then. But if you can wipe it out and just like if you want to invalidate, really, it's just physically, done. So yeah.
So yeah, different items are always going to have their own kinds of challenges.
Yep.
But there are some kinds of alternatives. So we have two other challenging items. I know we're getting really close on things, but we got two last questions that kind of tie into each other with difficult items for recycling, such as light bulbs and paint. Does Recycle Brevard accept paint?
We do accept some, even light bulbs. We have some, the regular ones for projects. So we have a basket for that. And paint as well. Just like the other day, a recycling club member, she came, oh, do you have any paint? Because what we have in the reuse room is going to vary depending on what we received and what went out. So because we received some of the sample, so somebody wanted sample paint, they were painting their house and they had leftover and some of the paint, the little small container. So we had those brand new, and so she just took them. And so we do accept that kind of paint, especially like for projects like that. But if you're a Brevard County resident, you can recycle those in the landfill. So they will accept paint. And normally at least once a year they donate or they accept. And then they have the program that you can go and pick it up if you need to paint your house and you just need a small amount. So they do have that as available. So if you check their website for that, that will be also an option. So.
Awesome. Okay, so we just got two more questions submitted. So final questions, guys, final questions.
And whatever's left over, Nicole, which she's gonna, we'll get them answered somehow. We post it, or we can post on our social
Yeah.
media, something like that.
Perfect. So this one's going to be easier. So on the TerraCycle list, only Colgate toothpaste is listed. Could any brand of toothpaste be recycled?
Okay, so that's a little tricky. We do have Colgate as one of the programs that they have, but we also have Tom's that they also participate, and it can be any brand. So some of the programs they do have a brand, so Colgate is one of them. They just accept their own brand, but like Tom's, they accept any brand. That's number one, and it can be toothpaste tubes, toothbrush, plastic toothbrushes, and dental floss containers, even deodorant. They have, and mouthwash. They accept all of that as part of the Tom's. So it would depend. And like pet food, we have tons of manufacturers. They would take their own, but we have at least, I think it's 5 of them. So just check the list, because we do have some that they're only their brand, and some they're not.
Right. All right. Kind of like, I think I saw that there was like Burt's Bees on there too. And so
Yes,
they
and that's
accept.
the brand one. So anything Burt's Bees, it's just going to be and there, because we separate. You don't need to separate at home, so you can bring a bag of TerraCycle, and then we will separate at the facility, just going, because when we ship to TerraCycle, they need to be in their own box, but you don't need to worry about that. If you see on the list, you can make your box and just drop it off, and then we'll take care from there.
Awesome. All right. So we saved one of the trickiest questions for last. So it's, yeah. I've seen media coverage of recycled materials being difficult to find bulk buyers. It seems that China is no longer interested in buying a lot of our recyclable material, and that the person who submitted this also thinks that Volusia County even ceased the recycling program for this reason. Can you comment on it?
Yeah, a lot of the market changed because China not only refused some of the material, they're not taking some of the material, but they also reduced contamination, rate that they used to accept. Now it's just 0.5%. So even more important that we recycle and we separate, and we just put in the bin what is listed and what is accepted, really. So that will help. Other markets opened up internationally, but one of the good things that happened with all this is that we're looking in. So we're kind of taking a look at what we're doing. So I think it's difficult, but we cannot assume that, oh, I can buy and just recycle. Like I said, the first one and the most important is to reduce. So, and if we reduce, and not only us, but if we see something and it's the manufacturer, just write a letter to the manufacturer, send an email or contact them, because only if there is demand, only if there is, people asking for a change, there will be change. So it's not just accepting what we received. Oh yeah, you can switch manufacturer, you can switch brands because the other one has a better packaging or something like that. So you reduce, but you can also contact the ones that, oh, I really like, that's my favorite brand, I don't want to change. Just talk to them. You'll be surprised. They're listening, and whatever they can do. And a lot of brands are changing. So I think that will be the solution for that. And also different markets internally that we are to recycle more, to open up different companies and use recyclables. Not only because you only have, you can only recycle what can be reused in the, producing something in the product. And so you cannot only expect that you put in the bin and like the magic coffee table. So it will not disappear. It will take energy, will take, water, will take resources to make that new product, to collect, to separate. So the recycling of products, it's less on the raw material side, so you don't have to start from scratch. But even the separation and cleaning and all that process will take some too. So the best way it is, again, is the reduce side, and then you work down the pyramid. So, but for recycling, that's, you know, we have, and even in the country, we have different, depending on the state, and I hear that a lot. Oh, I come from, and oh, we recycle everything there. We recycle. So it depends on the market that they find, the local, even the local industry, what they can use in their process and the product that they produce. So it depends. But I think even though it was bad for the recycling industry, because now we can ship out less, and probably the commodities, or the value of the commodities went down. But we're taking a hard look into what we're doing. So I think that was really important from that perspective. So hopefully that will bring even, you know, better changes than just, you know, making recycle better. Recycling could be better, but, you know, we can do other things too.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point that, you know, you drew on, like, you know, the very most important part of that entire triangle or pyramid is to reduce and then reuse, and then anything you can't do either of those with, then that's when you recycle. And so, you know, I think it's almost like a little like a weird kind of like blessing in disguise that, like, now we have to like focus on different venues and like make different choices due to a change in our environment. And so kind of interesting that way.
Yeah, but that's the way, and you know, so because there's always, and sometimes we hear about the recycling also. That's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I don't know if this can be recycled, but they will figure it out, and then you just put in the bin. That's not a good decision right there. So if that is something that, one thing that you can change, just change that. And if you just recycle while you were 100% sure that, like the plastic bottles, yeah, so go for it. Aluminum cans, you know, and aluminum can be recycled forever. So, you know, the value of just aluminum cans, if they are, don't flatten them, don't just empty and, you know, just put in there. So flattening, if you crush, you can get more in the bin, but then the machine sorting will get it confused with other materials because it doesn't have the shape. And that may vary from location to location, but here, the way, you know, waste management of the equipment they have, it will affect the separation, you know, efficiency. So, and the same like plastic bottles, just empty. Don't put anything in the plastic bottle. Don't leave liquids, and because the reading of the type of plastic will also get messed up if you do. So little steps, like, you know, like little things like that we can change that will make it better.
Right, awesome. Well, we've gone over a little bit on our time, so we'll just wrap it up, and I just want to say thank you so much, Marcia, for all this great information that you shared with us. I know that I learned a lot. I've got a whole list of questions that I want to ask you later, and so I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today and share more about Recycle Brevard. And thank you all to the participants who have continued to be patient and willing to attend our programs through this new platform. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Cool. All right. Here we go.